No one prepares you for this part of motherhood. Not the books, not the classes, not the glowing photos online. Motherhood begins before the baby even arrives. It begins with expectations quietly placed on your body and heart. Everyone tells you it will be magical and exhausting. Almost no one tells you it will change who you are inside. You wake up one day and realize something feels unfamiliar. You love deeply, yet feel strangely lost. You are needed constantly, yet feel invisible. You are surrounded by life, yet feel alone sometimes. This contradiction confuses many mothers. You wonder if something is wrong with you. You wonder why gratitude and grief can coexist so loudly. You wonder why no one warned you about this part. Researchers at Harvard University studied maternal identity shifts. They found motherhood restructures neural pathways linked to empathy and threat detection. Your brain literally rewires itself to protect your child. This process increases emotional sensitivity and mental load. This is not weakness. This is biology responding to responsibility. The problem is society praises sacrifice but ignores recovery. You are taught how to give birth. You are not taught how to grieve your former self. Anthropologists studying ancient Greek communities observed shared mothering rituals. Women were surrounded by elders for months after birth. They were fed, rested, and emotionally supported daily. Modern motherhood often happens in isolation instead. Isolation changes everything. It amplifies fear. It magnifies doubt. It silences truth. Many mothers experience something called matrescence. This term was studied by psychologist Dana Raphael. It describes the developmental transition into motherhood. Just like adolescence, it involves identity loss and rebirth. No one tells you that transformation hurts. No one tells you growth can feel like mourning. You might miss your old freedom suddenly. You might miss your body before it changed. You might miss quiet without guilt. Then shame arrives quickly behind those thoughts. But these feelings are normal. They are documented across cultures and history. Japanese postpartum traditions called Satagiri Bunbin emphasize rest and support. Mothers return to their family homes for weeks. The community assumes responsibility so she can heal. Healing is considered essential, not optional. Contrast that with modern expectations. Bounce back quickly. Be grateful immediately. Manage everything silently. Psychologists at the National Institute of Mental Health warn about suppressed maternal stress. Chronic stress increases risks of anxiety, depression, and emotional numbness. Many mothers think this is just personal failure. It is actually a systemic issue. Your nervous system is constantly activated. You listen for cries even while sleeping. You scan for danger in every environment. Your body rarely fully relaxes. This state is called hyperarousal. It was originally studied in trauma research. Motherhood can trigger similar physiological responses. Ancient Roman texts described mothers as eternal sentinels, always watching, always waiting, always alert. But ancient societies also honored rest cycles. Modern culture often does not. Another unspoken part of motherhood is rage. Not violence, not hatred, but a sudden sharp anger that surprises you. Researchers at University College London link maternal rage to burnout. It emerges when needs are chronically unmet. Anger becomes the language of exhaustion. This does not mean you are a bad mother. It means you are a tired human. Many women also experience identity fragmentation. You are mother, partner, professional, caretaker, planner. Each role pulls at you daily. There is little space left for integration. Carl Jung wrote about the danger of losing the self to roles. He believed wholeness requires honoring every inner part. Motherhood often demands denial of certain parts instead. This denial creates quiet resentment. Resentment then creates guilt. Guilt creates silence. Silence is where suffering grows. Another reality no one prepares you for is loneliness. Even with a supportive partner, loneliness can exist because the experience is deeply internal. A study from the University of Cambridge found mothers report decreased adult connection. Conversation becomes task-based and efficiency-driven. Emotional reciprocity often fades temporarily. You may long to be seen without explaining. You may want care without asking. In many indigenous cultures, motherhood was never solitary. Its grandmothers and neighbors shared emotional labor. The mother was not expected to hold everything alone. Modern mothers often do. Sleep deprivation also alters emotional regulation. Studies from Stanford University show reduced empathy towards self under sleep loss. This increases self-criticism and hopeless thinking. You judge yourself harsher when exhausted. You forgive yourself less when depleted. Another hidden grief is loss of spontaneity. Every decision now requires planning. Every outing involves calculation. This constant management is cognitive labor. It drains mental energy significantly. Neuroscientists call this decision fatigue. Mothers experience it at higher rates. Yet productivity culture praises endurance, not sustainability. Motherhood also confronts unresolved childhood wounds. Your child mirrors emotions you once suppressed. This can trigger unexpected emotional reactions. Psychologists call this intergenerational activation. Healing often begins unintentionally through parenting. Ancient Greek philosophy believed children revealed adult character flaws. Motherhood becomes a mirror, not just a role. That mirror can be painful. It can also be liberating. No one prepares you for how much motherhood asks you to feel. Joy, sorrow, fear, pride, anger, tenderness. Sometimes all within minutes. Emotional intensity increases dramatically after birth. Hormonal shifts amplify emotional processing. Researchers at Yale University link oxytocin to heightened emotional bonding. Oxytocin also increases vulnerability to emotional pain. Love deepens sensitivity. Sensitivity increases exposure. Another unspoken truth is grief for imagined motherhood. The version you pictured may not exist. Reality rarely matches fantasy. Grieving expectations is part of acceptance. Buddhist teachings emphasize non-attachment to ideal outcomes. Suffering arises from clinging to imagined realities. Motherhood teaches this lesson repeatedly. You learn flexibility or you break. Yet breaking can become rebuilding. Many mothers report post-traumatic growth. Growth through adversity and self-reflection. Psychologists define this as positive psychological change after struggle. Motherhood often initiates this process. You become stronger, but also softer. More aware, yet more tender. No one prepares you for needing support fiercely. Independence becomes unsustainable. Asking for help feels vulnerable. But vulnerability builds resilience. Ancient Spartan culture emphasized communal child-rearing. Strength was collective, not individual. Modern motherhood glorifies self-sufficiency. This contradiction creates burnout. Healing begins when you name these truths. When you stop comparing your inner life to curated images. You are not failing. You are adapting. Motherhood is not just raising a child. It is being reborn repeatedly. Each stage demands letting go of another version of yourself. No one prepares you for how brave that is. If you feel overwhelmed, you are not alone. If you feel conflicted, you are not broken. This part of motherhood deserves language and compassion. You do not need to be grateful every moment. You need to be supported consistently. Motherhood is not meant to be endured. It is meant to be lived with care. And now that you know this part exists, you can meet it with honesty instead of shame. No one prepared you. But now you are learning. And learning is the beginning.